Matthew chapter 24, verse 1 to 25. So today's reading is Jesus teaching about the end of the age, about the events prior to his return, his second coming. And the disciples were clearly aware of this idea of the second coming here, something that Jesus must have already been teaching them about. So they're leaving Jerusalem to head down through the Kidron Valley and back up to the Mount of Olives to overlook Jerusalem. And as they do so, as they leave the city, they get a more panoramic view of the temple, and the disciples start to compliment it and to marvel at it, as all good Jews would have done in the day. Wow, what a lovely building, what a glorious temple. And Jesus says to them, actually not one stone will be left standing on another. This temple that you celebrate and center around is going to be totally destroyed. And of course, we know from history, AD 70, so what, maybe 37 years after these words were spoken, that is exactly what happened. The Romans that had been occupying the land, they swept through Jerusalem and they destroyed the temple. Now, this was not the first time that had happened. There's a little bit of history repeating itself here, and we get this echo back to the destruction of the first temple around 400 years earlier, 600 years earlier by the Babylonians at the time of Daniel. That first temple that was destroyed was rebuilt in 200 BC, but then there was the abomination of desolation that was prophesied by Daniel, and we see that to be the Greek ruler Antiochus, who had a pig sacrificed on the holy altar, defiling it around 200 BC. So, really shocking for these disciples as good, proud Jews to hear that that's going to happen again, that their temple will be destroyed and it will be defiled as it had happened in the past. But of course, they had no idea that something far superior would replace it. A living temple made of living stones that you and I connected together as become a dwelling place for the Holy Spirit. This is the greater reality of the temple. No doubt, when we read this, the end of the age is going to be a challenging time for believers. False messiahs, false prophets, those who will deceive many. It says the love of most Christians will grow cold. Some will turn away from their faith. Christians will hate each other. There will be wars and rumours of wars, natural disasters. They're described as like the birthing pains, earth in labour, about to give birth to a new creation. Now, if you were following us when we went through the book of Revelation, then hopefully you can take what we learn and apply that about how we read end time teaching. This is not about us trying to predict when it's going to happen, but it's about living as if it were imminent. Living as if Jesus was preparing to return any moment, even this day. And this is how every generation is called to live. So how do we live in the light of that? How do we live in the waiting for Christ's return? And I think this passage gives a number of really powerful insights into that. Firstly, it's about right expectations. Right expectations. Jesus says things will get worse before they get better. He does not promise us a life free from suffering. And I sometimes wonder when it talks and prophesies of those who will fall away, if those who fall away were ones who were somehow sold a gospel that promised them only health and wealth and happiness. And so, right expectations, it's so important to help us endure suffering. Secondly, maintaining first love. Maintaining first love. There are, in this passage, 3 stand firms. Stand firm. Stand firm in his love. Stand firm in his grace. Hold on to his love and grace. You can be confident that he will keep you to the end. After all, it is far more about his work to keep us from falling than our efforts. So stand firm in his grace and his love. And finally, number 3, let's speed his coming. As we proclaim the gospel to the nations, we speed his return. And as we do so, Jesus says it ushers in his kingdom reign and rule, which is an exciting thought, isn't it? That we get to play our part in fulfilling the Great Commission of making disciples of all nations, and then the end will come. And why not in our lifetime? Why not? I think it's totally possible, totally doable in this day. So let's make Jesus known in all the earth. Amen.